you to all of you for supporting me. Some of you have been with me from the very beginning, and some of you are new to my channel, but regardless of when you started following me, I am so grateful for your support. It's been a year since I started the actual channel, but we haven't quite reached my 1-year anniversary for my first upload. That is at the end of this month, and I have something really special planned for you guys. And I just want to thank you for being supportive, and it's been such a pleasure getting to know you in the comments, and I've got a chance to work with many of you one-on-one because you've booked sessions with me, which has been amazing. So thank you. Thank you, thank you. And welcome if this is your first time here. My name is Odessa. I'm the Mystic Intuitive Healer. I'm a psychic medium, Reiki master, spiritual coach, and an intuitive tarot card reader. And through the work I'm doing here on YouTube, as well as Instagram, TikTok, and my own website, odessamal.com, I deliver messages to you that will help you to awaken, heal, align, and grow. So today's reading is all about what you are currently brewing. So this is going to be a combination of different themes that will likely come out in this reading, because it's all about what you are currently working towards. What are you manifesting? What have you been putting your thoughts and actions towards? So this could have to do with love. This could have to do with career. It could have something to do with a topic that is unique to you, but we will see what comes out in the cards, and Spirit's going to give you guidance on how things are going to turn out for you and what you can do to sort of speed along this process, because I suspect that you are eager to taste whatever it is that you're crafting. So I have 3 piles for you guys to select from. Pile number 1 is partnered with this little spell jar. There is black salt in this jar and a little sprig of dried lavender. And then pile number 2 is partnered with this dried yarrow and this little selenite stick. And then pile number 3 is partnered with this bundle of Palo Santo and this dried Queen Anne's lace. And I'm going to give you guys a second to select your pile. I will give you a close-up and the cards in just a moment, and I will see you at your pile. Hi, pile number 1, welcome back. So you picked the spell jar, and in today's reading, I'm going to be looking at what you are currently brewing. So this is a reading that's going to be covering what you're manifesting, but that could be in the physical, or that could be something that's actually passively manifesting for you. So it might be a complete surprise what comes out in the cards. It could have to do with love. It could have to do with career. It could have to do with something entirely different. But it is something that you've been working on for a while. So I'm going to be giving you some insight into where you are on that journey and what things are going to be like for you in the future once you are actually able to taste what you've been crafting. And I also want to mention that when I was preparing for this reading, I was strongly feeling feminine energy around me. It felt very matriarchal. So if you have someone who is crossed over to the other side, this could be a mom, this could be a grandmother, it could be an aunt, it could be a sister. There is a good chance that there's going to be some messages that come through the cards or through my direct channeling. So I just wanted to mention that. So in case something comes out, you know it's not a coincidence. It's absolutely coming from your loved one. So let's get into the cards and see what messages come out. What are you guys currently brewing? So the first card is the 10 of Cups. Then you've got Beauty, Benzatem, Chimpanzee. Use both your intuition and your intellect to solve the problem or get answers to your question. Then you've got the 7 of Wands, followed by Victory, 8 of Swords, And the soothsayer, travel the road seldom taken. And this is just such a little cute card. I love that particular deck. Okay, so interesting. So it looks to me like right now you are kind of feeling a little bit stuck. You've been trying to work towards your goal. And it feels to me, especially with this soothsayer card, that you have been trying to do something that's a little unconventional. You're taking the road less traveled. And I think that you really have a lot of passion for what you're doing. And I think that your intuition is telling you that you're going to be very successful. You know in your heart, this is the direction I'm meant to go in. And you know not only how much beauty it could bring to you, but you also see the beauty it could bring to the world and the other people that you're going to touch through whatever this, creation is. And I think that it's going to be bringing a lot of balance. This has the number 6 on this particular card. And I feel like you have kind of hit a point in the journey where you are being tested to a certain degree. We have to kind of go through these little mini victories, but then there can be these periods of time where things are very stagnant and we don't know how to work through the problem, or we're a little bit limited on how much information we're given, and we can feel like we're very bound, like the 8 of Swords is talking about. This could be also some self-limiting beliefs. So you may have this strong sense that you're meant to fulfill a certain purpose, you're meant to have a certain career, and you're meant to live a certain lifestyle, and it's different and unique from anyone else that you've known. And things were really working out for you in the beginning. You had some victory, but now things are getting a little more difficult. It could be that people are pushing back against you and you're having to stand your ground and really sort of defend your position with the 7 of Wands. It's it could just be other relatives that are what are you really going to do with your life? You can't do that forever. How are you going to sustain a family with that kind of income, or whatever it is that they think about your chosen path? And then you're allowing some of that to influence you, or maybe it's your own self-doubts that are sort of starting to bubble up to the surface because maybe you're not getting as much success right now as you were in the beginning, and that's all by design. It's all by design. What the universe is asking you to do is to overcome your own self-limiting beliefs, to have faith in what you're doing without having the external validation come through to you. So what's going to happen is you are going to go through a period of time where you're going to have periods where things seem like they're not moving forward, periods of sort of stagnancy in between the successes. And you're going to be tested. There will be more and more people that come up against you and say, I don't know what you're doing, or I don't like what you're doing. And the reason for that is so that you can get stronger. So that when things are more difficult in the future, you can weather that storm, because there will always be critics. So there will always be people that don't understand what you're doing when you're walking down an unconventional path. And especially if you're being guided, if this is a calling and it isn't something that you necessarily chose, you just feel so called to walk down this path, you need to be able to be strong, because there will be a lot of responsibility on your shoulders likely, And so even though it feels like you're being punished, you're actually being gifted a blessing. And if you can lean into that and start playing devil's advocate against yourself, like if all of a sudden you start getting a lot of critiques on like your content on whatever platform you're on, and people are, pushing back or they're trolling you, that is a good thing. How are you going to deal with that? Are you going to allow that to influence you and you're going to feel really, really bad about it? Or are you going to say, okay, that's their opinion, and obviously I might not be the person that's meant to guide them, or maybe they're not ready for my message, and you're going to delete that comment, or you're going to block that person if they're being really nasty, and you're going to keep moving, because there will be other people down the road that maybe have more power and are people that you really respect that may critique you. And if you can start to get used to that now, you'll be even stronger then. It won't be as painful, because ultimately you're meant to have this 10 of Cups. You're meant to have this success, but you need to start like thinking through the problems, right? Use both your intuition and your intellect to solve the problem. So when you are feeling sort of emotionally triggered, you might need to pull yourself back a little bit and start thinking about it in a logical way, or vice versa. If you're being pained because you can't think through the logic of it, then lean into the heart. How can you get through this problem? By listening to your heart and your intuition. That's what I'm feeling like is brewing here. Like you're trying to work towards a goal, and you're feeling like you might be on the wrong track, but I feel like you're absolutely on the right track. It's just that you are going through these testing periods. It's like a midterm exam. And it's not a sign that you're not on the right track. Let's see what you got here. Ace of Wands. Yeah, there's going to be a brand new beginning coming to you, where all of a sudden you're going to have the insight that you need to charge forward. You're going to have the passion and the drive. But right now, I think that you're working through some of your own shadow energy. There's literally like this swamp man, like carrying this woman who I think has probably passed out from fear. You might be very afraid right now about what's going on. It says, beneath the tides, strange and exciting tales. Try and spin this so that you can start to see the adventure in this journey. It's very difficult to really lean into your intuition and really have faith. Really embody the Fool card, which is an energy of knowing that the universe has your back at all times. And if you just walk towards the path that you're guided to, ultimately, no matter what happens to you, it's for your highest and best good. And this is where very logical people will hear me say stuff like this, or other people that are spiritual. They hear us say things like this and they're like, those people are crazy. There's no way that they're going to succeed. But it's not about always getting what you want, right? I'm not saying that you're always going to have success at all times. What I'm saying is that even if things don't work out the way you had anticipated, there's a teachable moment. It's either giving you the success that you want, or it's giving you the strength and the endurance that you want, right? Either way, it's building you up to a point where you're stronger, you're more skilled, you're more experienced. All of it is working out in your favor. And if the cards were telling me that you needed to go in another direction, I'd be happy to tell you that, but I feel 100% that you're on the right track. Let's find out a little bit more about what you're currently brewing and what's going on for you guys. This one wants to come out. 10 of Wands. Yeah, you are carrying heavy burdens. I want you to know that right before the energy starts to release and you get into this Ace of Wands, like, look at this, right? End of the cycle, beginning of the cycle. These are both wands. It's all about passion and drive. That is wild. I literally have goosebumps. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this is crazy. You are at the point right now where you're so burnt out. You're like so frustrated. Like, this is never going to work out the way I want it to. And that is exactly when all of a sudden the energy will release. And if this is not a passion project, maybe this is, something you're trying to build with another person and you're like, I am over it. I have worked and worked and worked at this relationship and I feel like they're never going to take me seriously. I'm just going to walk away. And that's the minute things start to click, right? And of course you need to be mindful of like how this other person is treating you, if that's the dynamic, if it has something to do with another person. You always need to make sure that you're respecting self. But I mean, this energy can be literally applied to any of the things that are sort of brewing in your life. Ultimately, you're at the precipice of things really shifting and moving in your favor, but it's a matter of getting over the fear that you have associated with the success or with the failure, right? If you can detach and just be present in the moment, like, okay, I accept whatever comes to me because I know that whatever comes to me is for my highest and best good. Redirection is spirit protection. I might not understand why I didn't get what I wanted in this moment, but maybe in a year from now, I'll understand that disaster was actually a blessing in disguise and I ended up meeting the love of my life, or I got the perfect job, or all of a sudden I aligned with the best client ever and they connected me with 25 other people. It is all working out in your favor. King of Swords. You definitely have people around you that are planting seeds in your mind of doubt. This imagery on this card is got a pilot, and there are these like sort of gargoyle bat-like creatures. I think that they call them, I can't remember what they call them. This is based on like a legend. There's like goblins or something that will like create problems in aircrafts, and like there's all kinds of legends around this. Basically, the energy I'm getting is that there's a lot of these little seeds that are being planted in your mind, little seeds of doubt that are throwing you off track, and you have to try and fight back against that because it's gonna cause you all kinds of anxiety and pain. And, you might end up disappointed at some point over some little minor things that didn't go your way, but you may be causing yourself great suffering on this journey where it's unnecessary, causing yourself all of this anxiety and worry when really you could be using this time to rest and recuperate, because that is the other thing that may be taking place. You might be on the precipice of this major shift, where all of a sudden you go viral, or all of a sudden you get recognized in some, media outlet and you get like bombarded with orders. Like, you may be overlooking the fact that this pause is necessary so that you have the energy to do whatever this Ace of Wands is going to be, because this is fire energy. This is, you are like, you have a fire underneath you driving you forward. It's action, 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 and it's fast. This is going to take off like that, like lightning, they want me to say. Let's find out some more. Three of Swords. You may have had deep disappointments in the past. You may have had people that betrayed you. You may have had people that actually were concealing things from you, and now you feel responsible for like every aspect of what you're trying to create. So it's like you're putting too much pressure on yourself to accomplish everything, because when you've worked with other people in the past, they have hurt you and they've deceived you and they've kept things from you. Now, of course, the Three of Swords traditionally is talking about heartache and pain, but the imagery on this, there are these awful men locking away this woman in this dark cellar and they're breaking the wall up. That's where I'm getting that energy of deceiving you and concealing things. And this might have happened for you in the past and it's still sort of like plaguing you. You're like worrying about like, did you cross all your T's and dot all your I's? Or there may be people that have said, I'll help you, and they are not helping. They are absolutely sabotaging what you're doing. That's not good. What else is pile number 1 brewing? Oh my God, you got the 10 of Pentacles. So this definitely makes me think that it's likely has something to do with your material success. Like your career, or there's something else that has to do with abundance and like money, financial gain that you've been working on for a long time. So like you might have a passion project that you've really been waiting on paying off. Like you might have a YouTube channel and you've been creating content for a year and you're like, oh my God, these videos take me so long to do, and like the posting and like the whole process of it can be very time consuming, and doing readings, if you're doing something like that, could be really draining. And you're like, am I ever gonna get any recognition? Like, am I just doing this and for no reason, and it's not helping anyone? And it's like, honestly, you are at the precipice of like this major breakthrough. It's like this clock on this card is literally striking midnight, and like it says boing, boing, boing. I feel like you're finally, you know, like your bell is about to be rung and you are going to be this major success, and things are going to be running at lightning speed. Because even though the 10 of Pentacles typically is like a slower moving energy, the imagery on this card is literally these people with this person on a chair and they're running forward with this person on the chair. Wow. Oh my God. Okay. So what else can you tell me about how this is going to come through for pile number 1? How is what they're brewing going to come to them? How is what pile number 1's brewing going to come to them? What are signs or things that they can look out for? Like, how is this going to come through to them? Okay, one more. Okay. So the first cards that you got, oh my God, it's absolutely to do with your life purpose. You got the life purpose card. This is a calling. Like, this is something that you couldn't walk away from even if you wanted to. And I think for many of you, maybe you have wanted to, and I can relate. I can understand how frustrating it is when you are feeling so called to play a particular role, and this might be career, this might be, you know, a dynamic with another person, like I said, a passion project, like you're a painter and like nobody wants to look at your paintings, or you can't get a gallery show, like, you know, there's all kinds of different ways that this could be playing out in your life, but it is your calling. It's just that you have to sort of like fight for it to blossom, right? Just like your harvest, like you have to plant the seeds, you have to water the fields, you have to weed the garden. All of that takes effort, and you don't see anything really. You have no idea what the harvest will look like, but you have to go through all of those steps anyways. You got the travel card, so you might be invited to go and travel somewhere and participate in something related back to your life purpose that is outside of your home. I mean, it could be outside of your city, it could be outside of your country, but it could just be like outside of your house, like you're gonna go and collaborate with somebody else, which is really exciting. You also got the protection card, so you're completely protected throughout this journey. I feel like Your ancestors are watching over you. And then there's also strongly the energy. I mean, honestly, I'm getting that matriarchal energy again. What you're doing might have something to do with Mother Nature as well. It might have something to do with the, you know, natural world, or something to do with getting back to nature, being more holistic. And this might also be a call for you to protect your own energies. So if there are some people that are sabotaging, that are hurting you, that are causing self-doubt, this might be the time to create some distance between you and them. Not permanently, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I would like you to put up some protective measures so that you can ground your energy, start to feel your best again, because they're likely not going to change right now. Everyone has the potential to change, but right now I don't see anything in the cards that's saying that they're going to have a major epiphany. So you might need to do the things that you need to do to feel better. So go and participate in the hobbies that you love, that make you feel good. Hang out with the people that make you feel good, and just try and keep a distance with this Three of Swords energy, because I mean, it's going to make something that's already difficult for you more difficult. And for some of you, there might be a need to forgive. You might need to forgive someone else if they disappointed you. Not because you're saying that what they did was okay, and not because you're going to invite this person back into your life. Not at all. That's not what I am saying. What I am saying is you're going to forgive the situation, and you're going to release your feelings about this and your attachment to the situation. You're going to cut the cord with that situation so you don't have to endure any more suffering. You're going to allow yourself to forgive yourself for potentially putting yourself in a situation where someone could betray you or harm you, and it's not because you you're not at fault for that. But sometimes we think back and we're like, oh, if I had only done this, that wouldn't have happened. Or why didn't I say this? Release all of that. Forgive yourself for that, because you could never have done any better. Like, you did the very best that you could with what you had. And I say this all the time, but it's true. You didn't have access to the knowledge and gifts that you have now on purpose. It was designed that way by spirit so that you would feel the pain. And the reason for that is because we build strength and empathy through those situations. You will never meet another person that's gone through this same Three of Swords energy that you went through, that caused you this pain, that you won't have empathy for. And that creates a bond between you and another person that maybe you wouldn't have had anything in common with outside of your own pain. And all of a sudden, you're family then, right? And that brings us all together. Ultimately, that's the point of all of this. Like I said, pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. And sometimes we choose to suffer. I chose to suffer for so much of my life. And then finally I decided I didn't want to suffer anymore. And I chose a different path. And I don't look back and think, oh, you're dumb. Why did you suffer for so long? Because I look back at it and I think, oh my God, I'm so grateful that I suffered so much. Because then when I meet people through my practice that are suffering the same way I can actually guide them and give them the guidance that they need to stop suffering if they choose, right? And that might have something to do with what your purpose is as well, which is so inspiring. I really feel passionate about your pile, and I'm so excited. Hopefully I'm going to see some of the things that you're doing. I feel like some of you are really doing this out in the public eye. So what is the final advice that Spirit would like to offer you about this situation? Oh my God. So I have goosebumps again. This is a crazy reading. So the first card you got is fire. The element of fire heralds new life, renewed passion, and positive transformation. The wands are all about that fire energy. It is coming. It is right around the corner. You just need to hang on a little bit longer. Soothe yourself. You got goddess, healing, feminine energy. Lean on your ancestors. Pray to your ancestors. All of the strong women that have come before you. And remember, you're an infinite being. You live forever. You never die. You have relatives that you're not connected to through your bloodline in this life. Remember that in all of your past lives, you have so many loved ones that don't stop loving you just because you are in a new life. You have a new avatar. They care about you just the same as they did when they were embodied with you. You have as many loved ones as there are stars in the sky. They're watching over you. Pray, call out to them. Go into meditation, ask them for guidance. They will give you support, and they will show that support likely through Mother Nature. You will likely get synchronicities through nature. Then you got breaking bad habits, self-acceptance, excellent mental health, letting go of vices. So if there are some things in your life that you're leaning on to help you sort of cope with this stress, just be mindful of them and maybe try and decide what you would like to keep and what you would like to sort of lean away from. Some of these things may only be negatively affecting you because it's an overindulgence, or you're not being mindful about how you're incorporating that into your life. I'll leave that to you. I feel like you guys are extremely capable. You know what you need to do to feel healthy. And then the final card you got is successful career, a happy working environment, pay raises, and promotions. You are definitely on track for major success. Maybe this is in your current job. Maybe there's a new job opportunity that's coming to you. Maybe you're launching your own business, but you are on the precipice of success. I am so excited for you guys. Oh my God. You are brewing a very magical craft here, and you are really going to enjoy how this tastes. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. I would love to know how this relates to you. You can let me know in the comments. If you don't feel like commenting, that's okay. Maybe you could like the reading, or you could share this. That would be a huge help to me. And if any of you guys are interested in working with me one-on-one, you can go to my website, odessaandI.com. All of my services and booking information are available there. I do tarot card readings, spiritual coaching. I do mediumship, where I connect with your spirit guides and I channel messages from them. I also do Reiki, and I do past life readings. So if you have any questions, you can always head over to my website as well, and there is a contact me form, and I would be happy to answer any of your questions. Have an amazing day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next reading. Take care. Hi, pile number 2. Welcome back. So you picked the yarrow and the selenite stick. And in today's reading, I'm going to be looking at what you are currently brewing. So this is going to cover what you're currently manifesting. It could be something that you are actively manifesting. You know exactly what you're working towards and you're taking diligent steps towards your goal. Or it could be something you are passively manifesting and your thoughts and actions are taking you in a particular direction, but you're not entirely sure what you're bringing into your life. So the cards are going to fill me in on what you are currently brewing. And I'm also going to get some guidance from your guides that will fill me in on steps that you can take to move towards your goal. And I'm also going to get some insight on what it will taste like once your brew is ready. So let's dive in and see what you got. I also want to mention that when I was preparing for this reading, I was strongly feeling feminine energy around me. And I got the sense that it was matriarchal energy. So you may have a relative, a mom, a grandmother, an aunt, a sister that's crossed over to the other side. And I strongly feel that they're with us right now. And there may be a message that comes through the cards or possibly through something I say, some of the channeled messages that reminds you of that individual. And I just wanted to mention that I was feeling this energy so you know 100% when that happens, it's 100% a message for you, and you know that they're communicating with you. So let's see what cards you have. What are you brewing? The first card you got is the Hermit, then Métis, Wisdom, Peacock, let yourself stand out and be noticed, followed by the World. Oh my God. The Emperor, Hope, and the Priest. Oh my God, pile number 2. And then you got the Spell Singer, cast spells of wonder and delight. Oh my God. Pile number 2, you are definitely actively manifesting what you are currently brewing. This is something that you've been working towards. The Priest is definitely a card talking about manifestation and taking control of the elements that are around you, the, things that are at your disposal to create something, craft a particular outcome. And you literally got the Spell Singer, a card talking about crafting spells, bringing in wonder and delight. You're trying to bring in happiness and joy into your life. And you are also trying to bring in more hope. I think that you might have been feeling a little discouraged. You might have gone through something difficult in the past that sort of caused you to withdraw. The Hermit card can be talking about feeling like you need to kind of keep away from society, or you need to withdraw within so that you can heal or get some sort of wisdom. You definitely did get some of that wisdom, or you're currently working towards that now with the Wisdom card and Métis. And this is card number 36, so that reduces down to the number 9, which makes me think that you are nearing the end of a cycle. You're not entirely all the way there, but you're definitely being pre-warned that there's gonna be a call where the World, the end of the cycle comes, and this is gonna be a major shift in your life. The Emperor and the World and the Hermit coming out and the Priest, like that's 4 major arcana cards. Like this is a major pivotal shift, a major change in your life's direction that's going to take you down a pathway that maybe you are even a little bit afraid to go down, is kind of the energy I'm getting. I feel like you know what direction you're meant to go in. With Métis and the Peacock, I'm strongly getting, as well as the Priest, I'm strongly getting this heightened intuition. So you may have pronounced psychic abilities, or you may feel like that might be a possibility. I would say 100% yes. The Peacock is a symbol of clairvoyance, specifically clear seeing, but it can also be a stand-in for intuition in general, psychic abilities. But you've completed some major karmic cycle is what I want to say. So it might have been quite painful, and you might have faced really difficult circumstances or had your heart broken is what I want to say. But now you're the Emperor. You are the master of your own life. You have reached a really high level of achievement where you know who you are, and you know what you want, and you know how to go after it. You know how to express yourself, and you're in touch with your emotions, which is amazing. This is really, really exciting. Yeah, I get the sense that for some of you, this might even be talking about stepping into your life purpose or your calling as well, coming out of the cave, out of the shadows, and stepping into your role. And maybe you are working towards having hope for yourself, but you might be bringing that hope and wonder to others. This could also be bleeding into your career. This could be bleeding into relationships. There's a lot of different ways that this could be having an impact on your life, but you're definitely lighting the way forward is what I'm getting, because the Hermit obviously has his stereotypical lantern, but this spell singer also is holding a light. You are possibly going to feel a little uncomfortable initially coming out of the shadows. The darkness is what they want me to say. So you might have been going through a dark night of the soul, and now it's kind of like, I get the energy of feeling like the light is too bright and like you can't see clearly, like you've been in a dark space for a really long time, and you're adjusting, you're getting used to being out in front of people. I don't know, I get the sense that for some of you, maybe you've just been sort of isolating, and getting out and spending time around family and friends is, you know, I just got the word triggering. So it might feel uncomfortable, and we are working up towards the holidays, and this can be a really stressful time for a lot of people because you might be around people that say mean things, or they put their foot in their mouth and they don't realize it, and you're feeling a little sensitive that way. For others of you, maybe you're getting back into the workforce after you've been sort of off for a long time, or you're getting back into dating and you've been single for a really, really long time and you're just getting used to it. And I feel like to a certain degree, there's a little, my back is itchy. There's a little energy of pleasure in pain. Like you're excited, but you're also terrified. Dating is fun, but it's also exhausting. That kind of energy. There's like two energies going on at the same time, but I do feel like soon it's going to shift over so that it's fun. Like all of it is positive and good. So let's get some more information about what pile number 2, what are you brewing? What is pile number 2 brewing? What is pile number 2 brewing? Okay. So we've got here the 4 of Swords, 5 of Swords, Knight of Swords. Oh, there's a lot of Swords energy. Temperance, Ace of Pentacles, and the Wheel of Fortune, and the 6 of Pentacles. Okay, so the Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Pentacles were in reverse. So I'm going to put those back in reverse. So what is coming forward here is I feel like there was a time prior to this hermit mode where you were trying to move towards something that you were trying to create in the physical world with the Ace of Pentacles. There was something new that you were trying to create. It could have been in any area of your life, but it didn't work out. The Wheel of Fortune is in the reverse. The wheel may have turned forward, but the outcome was something that was painful and not positive. It might have been sort of feeling like negative karma. And so this might have been a situation where you lost your job, or a relationship ended, or you had some failure, and that was a real wake-up call. It was very, very, very painful for you to endure this. Now, it might have been a situation where, in fact, there was some sort of conflict, or someone possibly betrayed you. This is the 5 of Swords, which is talking about petty battles. And I don't necessarily always connect that with being betrayed. I think of that more as the 7 of Swords, but that's the word that came out. So you may have had harsh words with another person where it was like two people butting their heads against each other, and it was like each of you wanted to be right, and eventually you just gave up. and walked away from this situation. It could be a situation where it was a romantic connection and neither of you wanted to give up your position, and it might have been a situation where it says the hand of fate, and I was literally gonna say that it might have been destined, like it might have been a karmic connection where it's meant to be short term because you're supposed to connect with another person or walk a different path. And if you stay with this person, you're never going to be able to achieve what could be, what your higher self crafted for you. And your higher self, if you're not familiar with what that concept means, it's the version of you that's on the other side that is the totality of your soul's experience. So it's the version of you that remembers all of your past lives, all of your skills, every experience you've ever had, and ultimately is able to see things from a much higher perspective. So it might have been painful walking away from whatever the situation was, but ultimately you made the right decision. That is what you were supposed to do. But you had to sort of withdraw to recover from this. The Four of Swords is talking about resting and recuperating. And I think that you had to go through a period of introspection where you were figuring out what you needed to learn. You got the Temperance card. You needed to figure out what balance feels like to you. Like maybe it's a matter of finding work-life balance. Maybe you dive into your career and you give up everything else. And when you have failures in your career, it takes away a little piece of you because your career is part of your identity. Or it could be you have romantic relationships where, your partnership feels like part of your identity. And then when they end and there's some sort of hiccup or a bump, then it's like a hit to who you are. And you had to get to a place where you overcame that and you knew who you were no matter what. Even if there was an ending, you would always know how to have that fresh start and move forward. The Knight of Swords is typically talking about having a fresh way of thinking and communicating and being able to take action on that. And this particular card, this is the Halloween deck. This is a comic illustration from probably the 50s or 60s. And this person is on the guillotine. So I feel like this card is, in addition to the traditional meaning I just gave you, it's also talking about losing a part of yourself or losing something, but it not causing you to lose yourself. You know who you are. You don't lose your head over like things not going the way you want them to. You have a certain amount of patience and balance now that even if people are acting a fool is what they want me to say. You might have been around people that were very fiery and would be very harsh with you. There's a lot of swords energy. And so people that really don't edit themselves at all and they say things that really cut you to the core, and you might be a very sensitive person and you might have a tendency to withhold your emotions, like carry that inside you and not reveal that because you haven't been able to trust people in the past. But that is why this situation had to end, because you're now moving towards a place where there's going to be balance and you're going to be around people that will give back to you. The Six of Pentacles, I always describe it as a fair and even trade. What you put into a situation, you also receive from the situation. And the wounds that you had are going to be healed. You're not going to feel triggered or bound to other people anymore is what I want to say. All of that is going to start to dissipate. It might be a situation where now the things that went wrong, because I think for some of you, you're still working through this hermit energy. and you haven't quite emerged out of that yet, you might still be in a phase of reflection where a lot of memories from the past keep coming back, and it's like literally feels like a nightmare. It's like, why? Maybe you're having nightmares. You might have nightmares that just pop up out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, why do I have to think about this? But it's because you're releasing that final energy, and you're going to be at a state energetically where you're more receptive to the positive energy. Because if you're carrying around a lot of that low vibrational energy in your system, like from a, healer point of view, if I put on my Reiki hat and I look at it from that point of view, the trauma that we have inside us does have an effect on our auric field, and it changes our vibration. And to have beautiful experiences, we have to be a vibrational match to those experiences. People talk about jumping timelines. Same idea. You have to be a vibrational match to the experience that you want to have. So sometimes we'll go through a phase where it's like we feel very, very sad, very down, and it's like we're having to sort of work through a lot of muddy memories from the past, but that's so that it can all be released from our system, and so we can feel very, very good. And many of you, I feel, might be healers and spiritual people in your own right, and you know what I'm talking about, and it's like you are just waiting for that moment where all of a sudden the energy shifts and it clears out, and you're like, yes, I am feeling good. I was feeling like really bad yesterday, but now I am feeling amazing. And the energy can shift that dramatically, just like that. It's really wild. Okay, so let me get some guidance on how this is going to come into your life. Like, what should you be looking out for? What kind of signs are you going to get that things are working out in your favor, or what should you be looking for? How is it going to come in for you? Oh, I'm going to put those there. What else? They're telling me no to take them. Okay. I thought they just accidentally fell out, but I should have known better. Let's see. Oh, that's too many. Just the top, okay. Okay, let's see. Oh my God. Pile number 2. Psychic abilities. Yes, I knew you guys were psychic. There was so much energy that was coming through indicating that with the peacock, the priest, and the spell singer. And now it's confirmed 100%. You are definitely psychic. So if you're not already aware of this, this should be a confirmation for you. You have intuitive abilities that you can definitely hone. You can work on that. You can grow your skills. So your intuition is speaking to you. It is telling you about the direction that you're going to be guided to. You are being asked to trust the path that you are being guided down. You may be feeling like you're not ready for the next phase. You might have been burned in love and you're like, oh my God, I never want to go down in that road again. I don't want to go there, because every time I go down that road and I have a relationship, it turns out the same way. So why would I want to do that? I'll just have an unconventional life. You might be thinking something like that. Or you were so burned in your last job that you're soured on even your career, in general, like the whole field, because of the situation that took place, and you're feeling sad about that because you used to be quite passionate about what you were doing, and you're also very skilled at it. And I feel like you're being guided to trust that everything is going to work out and that all of the pain that you experienced happened for a reason. You have innate talent. You have all of the skills that you need to be able to be a success, and things will work out for you, but you have to trust. And there was truths that were revealed to you as a result of the hardship that you went through. You understand yourself a lot better than you did before. You understand your capabilities and how strong you can be, even if it was hard, even if there was times when you felt like you couldn't keep going. You know now that you can. And you also, I get the sense that you learned a truth about other people, about society. You understand on a deeper level now that sometimes people are projecting onto you, or bad things happen and you're just a casualty and it's not something personal. So you don't need to take that on. It doesn't have to be part of your identity. And that the passion that you used to have, you can have it again. Fiery passion. And for those of you that were like really burned in terms of relationships, you are going to get to a place now where you're going to be partnered with someone that I think was the right person for you, that you would have missed out on if you had stayed in the old relationship. And you're going to have an increased level of passion that you haven't experienced before. And the reason I say that is because there's the family card here, the commitment card, the fertility card. Now, of course, these could also be talking about a passion project. It could be talking about your career. It could be talking about anything else that you're doing in your life that you're feeling a little reluctant to step back into. But the fertility card is definitely talking about growing something new, being fertile. That can be creatively fertile. The family, that possibly these people that weren't there for you and were sabotaging you or being cruel and saying mean things, maybe were your biological family, and you're going to be leaning on your chosen family now. Or you're going to have renewed connections with your real family. People can change. Things can adapt and evolve. All of us have spiritual guides with us. Well, so does every single person on the planet. Even the plants and animals have guides with them. Everything is being watched and monitored, even if it doesn't feel like that. And you are going to get to a point where you're going to be able to have the commitment and plant roots. And you're going to see that everything that happened in the past was happening for a reason. There is a dove and a raven. That's like yin yang. There is duality to life, and it's so hard. I remember how difficult it was for me to like wrap my head around that, because I have experienced a lot of pain in my life, and I watch the world and I see a lot of pain in the world, and I spend time with my clients and I work with them, and they have endured excruciating pain, and I have gone through moments where I'm like, why? But every single time I'm always able to find something that was a blessing that came out of even the worst things. And that's why we're here, is to find those, points of growth so that we can make something better for the future. And knowing that will bring you this sense of peace. Now, if it's a relationship, I also strongly get the sense that the peace that you were missing out on in past relationships is going to be brought forward to you. Or like maybe the peace that you didn't have in past careers, it's going to be brought forward to you. But you're going to get more illumination, and you're going to be in a state of peace, and you're going to have more passion. And what you're looking for is possibly the passion bubbling up inside you, but you're going to have a little bit of fear and apprehension, and you've got to push past that. The key is the passion. When you're feeling like really drawn to something and you're feeling a strong passion, look within. Is it your truth? Is that something that really, truly resonates with you and it's only your own fear of what happened for you in the past that's holding you back? If that's the case, you have to overcome that. That's the next step. That's what will bring the conclusion of the cycle, is overcoming the fear. And then the world turns forward and you are in a whole other dimension, is what I want to say. This is like timeline jumping for sure. Major raises in vibration. Okay, so what is the final guidance that you have for pile number 2? Final guidance for pile number 2. All right. So, triple moon, embracing all aspects of yourself, the divine and the earthly. This is beautiful because I was talking about how I was feeling that feminine energy, and I always associate the divine feminine with the triple moon goddess, the divine feminine at every stage of her life, the maiden mother crone. And I feel like this is talking about that. You're going to embrace all aspects of yourself. Maybe you're going to be embracing your divine feminine nature, because there is a lot of divine masculine energy that's come out with the priest, the emperor, and what was the other card that was... Well, the hermit has a masculine figure on it, but the priest and the emperor is pretty intense masculine energy. You also got Trinket 5, manifesting money and income. Beautiful. The number 5 is also in tarot associated with conflicts and battles. So you have to fight through this to be able to bring the manifestation into your lives. And I think the reason it might be more challenging for you is I get the sense that you're an older soul, you're more experienced. You know, whether that's on a spiritual level or whether that is just in life. You know, if it's a career thing, you have a lot of tools and skills. So the lessons get a little bit harder. But they're getting harder because you need to be challenged to grow. So it's definitely coming through to you. It just might be there's like this final push, going back to that number 9. That's where I feel like you are. You're at 9, then you have to go 10, then finish, then new cycle. Then you got Abracadabra with wings, fantastic good fortune and lucky chances. Yay! So there might be some breakthroughs that are going to be coming through to you that you're not expecting, that are like right around the corner, is what I'm being told. Right around the corner. That is so exciting. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. This was such a pleasure. I would love to know your thoughts on it. You can share in the comments, and if you don't feel like commenting, that is okay. If you could like the reading, that would be amazing. Maybe you could share it. And if any of you guys are interested in working with me one-on-one, you can go to my website, odessamall.com. All of my services and my booking information are available there. I do tarot card readings. I do mediumship with your spirit guides, where I can channel information from them and introduce you to them. I also do past life readings, and I do Reiki, and I do spiritual coaching. And if you have any questions about that, you can feel free to email me. There is a contact form on my website. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. I'll see you in the next reading. Hi, pile number 3, welcome back. So you picked the Palo Santo with the Queen Anne's Lace, and in today's reading, I'm going to be looking at what you are currently brewing. So this is going to cover what you're currently manifesting. It could be something you are actively manifesting, so something you're taking active steps towards and you know exactly what you are trying to achieve. It could be something you're passively manifesting, so your thoughts and your actions are bringing something towards you, but you don't see this coming. I'm going to be filling you in on what is coming towards you. I'll be giving you some insight into steps you can take that will help you get the best outcome, or possibly speed up the timeline. And I'm also going to give you some insight into what it will taste like once your brew is ready. So let's dive into these cards. I also want to mention that actually when I was preparing for the readings, I really felt this strong feminine energy around me. So it feels like ancestor energy. And you might have a mom, a grandmother, a sister, an aunt that has crossed over to the other side. And I strongly feel like our feminine ancestors are with us, and there's a possibility that there'll be a message through the cards or through some of the channeled messages, through something that I say during the reading that will connect back to your loved one. And I just wanted to mention that so you know 100% that your loved one is reaching out to you. So let's dive in. So the first card that came out is the Four of Swords, and then Parvati, devotion, number 42, so that reduces down to number 6. The dog, your loyalty and faithfulness is misplaced by serving too many masters. Then we have the Eight of Swords, followed by the Fire card, the Star, and the Gatekeeper. Let go. All things are possible on the borderlands. Oh, interesting. Okay, so pile number 3. Now, you might have come from another pile. There is an element here that feels a little bit similar to one of the other piles, but I won't mention which one. You can migrate to another pile if you feel called to it, but basically what's coming forward is I feel like you are feeling great desire and passion about something in your life. It could be something in terms of your career. It could be something to do with a hobby. It could have something to do with a relationship. And you are wanting to move forward, but you're feeling a little fearful about what the outcome might be. I just heard forbidden fruit. So it might be something that you feel like it could potentially backfire on you, or whatever you're trying to go after won't be accepted by your community. It's sort of taboo, but I get this sense that this fire and passion that you have is intentional. This Star card is indicating a wish fulfillment. It can also be talking about a divine purpose. So there's a good chance that you're being guided in a particular direction. The Gatekeeper feels to me like this is an indication that a new doorway is going to be opened up to you. And it's possible that it's going to be through partnership with another person, because what is so weird about this card is last night, all of a sudden, I was thinking about Ghostbusters and the Keymaster, and the counterpart, Sigourney Weaver, was the counterpart to the Keymaster in the original Ghostbusters, and she was the Gatekeeper. And I feel like for some of you, this might have something to do with a relationship, partnering with the right person, and not taking your own needs for granted, not having misplaced your loyalty and faithfulness. You may be in a situation where you're in a relationship with someone, and I mean, it could be romantic relationship, this could be family, it could be friends, it could be a working relationship, where you are completely devoted. You've got the Parvati card with devotion, and then you also have the dog card, but it could potentially be causing you some harm. And you may be called to start redefining yourself. Start thinking about what you want your life to look like. Who is your master? Ultimately, I believe that your master should be yourself. your higher self, the version of you that's on the other side, that is the totality of your past life experience, speaks to you through your intuition. You should always be listening to your intuition because it will never guide you in the wrong direction. But you may be in a position right now where you've been sort of locked into a certain way of living for so long that you don't necessarily see that there are other options for you. The Eight of Swords in the traditional tarot shows a woman with a blindfold on, and she's surrounded by swords, and typically there is water on the ground, and it's sort of leading in two different pathways out of this maze of swords, and it's indicating that your intuition is speaking to you and telling you that there are a couple of ways that you can extradite yourself from this situation. So it might be a situation where you are in a marriage and you're not happy and you don't know how you can get out because maybe you don't have the finances there. Maybe there's family that's at a distance and you're just unsure about what you should do. And you're being guided to rest and meditate. Rest, recuperate. Allow yourself to look within and try and tune into your intuition, because your intuition is going to guide you towards the right answer. Miracles will come forward. There's sunflowers on this card, which is a symbol of positivity and miracles, opportunities, abundance coming forward, the gatekeeper. All things are possible, but you have to be willing to sort of like walk away from what you've already known, because I think it's talking about the borderlands, and I think about the borderlands as being sort of like this untamed wild area where you don't necessarily know what you're going to encounter. And this could also be in a career. Like you might be working for a company that you feel very unhappy with, but you've been there for so long, or the pay, there's like something, no matter what the situation is, you're feeling locked into the situation you're currently in, and your guides want you to know there's another way out. Now, there's also a possibility that there's external influences with this serpent here. It's giving me this real serpent in the garden kind of vibe. So there might be an external source that's feeding into your fear, telling you that you can't possibly make it on your own, or there's no other option for you. It could be your own internal dialogue telling you, who do you think you are? You're too old. You don't have the skills. There's no other option. There's a lot of different ways this serpent can come into our lives. But the energy here is that you're missing a piece. There is something that is available to you, but possibly you're putting too much attention on others and their needs, and you're not pouring enough into yourself, and you may be self-limiting your possibilities because you don't necessarily have the faith in yourself the way that you do in others. You may be sort of waiting for someone else to guide you as well, because I think of dogs. Like, I have 2 dogs. They look to me to, help them, to guide them through this life. And some of you might have children. Your children look to you to guide them through life. And you might be looking to others, and maybe the others do not have your best interest at heart. Let's find out a little bit more about what you are currently brewing. What is pile number 3 currently brewing? What is pile number 3 currently brewing? Okay, let's see. Now, the first card that came out is the Star. You have the Star twice. So this definitely feels to me like there is going to be a major breakthrough. Some miracle is going to be coming into your life. You know, you may be, oh my God, it says my scandalous affair. So this might be some, I don't necessarily think this is saying that there's going to be a situation that is related to infidelity. It might be like, I think of an affair as like a big occasion, right? Like you go to a fancy affair, that kind of thing. It might be a moment where there's a real breakthrough. You know, your breakout moment, you get discovered, that kind of energy. Like you go viral, you meet the right person and they offer you the right job, or you end up in the right place and all of a sudden you meet the love of your life. Yeah, you got the Empress in reverse. You are definitely underestimating how powerful and how sensual is what is coming forward. Yeah, you might be feeling like there isn't a possibility for love beyond the relationship that you're in. You know, who's gonna want me now is kind of the energy I'm getting. And that also could be friends, it could be career. This kind of energy can be applied to any area of our life. But you are being called to look at things from a different perspective. With the Hanged Man, start looking at, you know, try and play devil's advocate against yourself. Like, why would you think that you weren't worthy of this kind of recognition or this kind of success or this kind of love? Like, why do you feel like that couldn't be a possibility for you? Is it because of something that you truly feel is your truth? Or is this something that you need to start, you know, redefining for yourself? Is this something that you heard from someone else and it isn't authentic? I feel like you're moving towards a place where you're going to be able to stand your own ground. You're going to be able to start to defend your position, is the energy that I'm getting. And you're going to know the direction forward. Like with the Chariot, it's talking about finding that balance in your life and being able to know the direction forward. And no matter what comes at you, you know what your truth is. And I definitely feel like for many of you, this has to do with relationships, because you got the King and the Queen of Cups. So you might very well be in a relationship right now where you're very unhappy, and it's not necessarily that I think that you're in a toxic dynamic. It just might be a situation where your needs aren't met. You've grown apart is kind of the energy that I'm getting. And you just don't seem to like find any common ground with this person. And you're looking and hoping for a connection where you can feel that passion and desire for the other person, not only on a physical level, but also emotionally and mentally. You may be wanting to be with someone that you have something in common with. I just heard adventure. Maybe you want to be with someone who would like to have an adventure with you. And maybe your current partner is happy with the status quo. Like they're just happy with things as they are, but there's no magic, there's no chemistry, there's no adventure that's going on right now. And you would really like to have something deeper, something that is more fulfilling. And it could also be in your career. Your career has been sort of stagnant for too long and you're feeling uninspired. I want to get a few more cards on this. Whoop. Yes! Oh my God, these cards. Whoops, if I can pick them up. Oh my God. Okay, so the Death card came out, but you also got the Ten of Wands and the Magician. You are carrying these heavy burdens. You are feeling like there is so much weight on your shoulders. It's like you almost can't even bear it any longer. And you're being encouraged to bring an end to this. Bring an end to the responsibility. It could be a situation where you are taking on all this responsibility that isn't owed to you, and there needs to be more balance. And you need to be, there's people dancing on this card. If you're with a partner, you need to be dancing to the same song, right? Like if you are dancing to two songs that have a different rhythm, you know, you're not going to be in sync, and you need to like start dancing to the same song. And so that might be a situation where you have to start asking your partner to sort of like do more. They have to like pull their own weight. And that might be one, very uncomfortable for you because you might have been playing the same role for a really long time. And it might be very triggering for your partner, and they do not want to take on this extra responsibility. But if you guys are going to stay the course and be happy together, there has to be some sort of balancing of the energy. Otherwise, you're likely going to be asked to sort of move away from this connection or this job or these friends or whoever it is, so that you can start to manifest what you actually want. With the Magician, you may want to start, like I was saying before, leaning into your intuition and start seeing what your internal compass is guiding you towards. Because there is this Magician looking into a crystal ball. If you practice any kind of divination on your own, maybe you want to converse with the cards, watch more pick a card readings or book a reading, or maybe you want to start meditating and seeing what comes through for you there. Or, you know, what's coming through to me right now is, in your own mind, sort of ask your guides or your ancestors to help give you answers through your dreams. Now, a lot of people don't necessarily always remember their dreams, but you can ask for assistance. And I want you to know that when information comes through in dreams, it's not important that you see the entire storyline. You have to dissect the individual images, because oftentimes, as we all know, dreams make no sense at all. It's like this alternative reality where everything is really, really, really crazy. But you have to sort of dissect it and see what those individual pieces may mean. So you might also want to get a dream journal is what's coming forward. So what do pile number 3 need to be watching out for? What's going to come forward as a sign that their manifestation is about to come forward for them, or there's going to be a shift or change, or what do they need to be doing? What else can you tell us about what pile number 3 needs to be focusing on or looking for? The number 13 is significant. And the number 13 does reduce down to the number 4, which is talking about a solid foundation. Now, you got the card closure. You got the card boundaries. You got the card answer. What else do we have here? Dreams! Oh my God, I love that. Yes, your dreams are significant. There is messages that are coming through to you, I think, from your ancestors. This feminine energy that really feels strongly. And I want to say that this energy keeps coming forward. One of you has, I think, an aunt. I just heard aunt. She has very short, it was like a pixie cut kind of hairstyle, blondish. She looked to me like she was in her 50s. I am hearing the name Amy, and I'm hearing the name Sandy, but Sandy might be referring to like the beach is significant or something. And those names may not be related back to this person, but I wanted to just let you know that, because this individual, this feminine, just keeps coming forward. So I just wanted to mention that. You have spirit guide. Maybe this individual is someone's spirit guide though. And it could also be an ancestor who is part of your spirit team, because our ancestors are always with us too. And you got the card grieving. So you may have lost somebody, and that is part of this pain that you're experiencing. You might be feeling very, very isolated. Now, this could also be talking about this relationship or this situation that I was mentioning before, where you're being called to erect boundaries. You need to have strong boundaries to protect yourself, and you need to bring closure to a situation. It could be physically distancing yourself from a person, but it could be finding closure on the events that took place in the past. Looking within, finding grieving for what happened, feeling all of the feelings and releasing that. There is definitely answers that are going to be coming through to you from your dreams that your spirit guides are sending to you. And it's going to be an answer to your prayers. That's what they're saying to me. It's an answer to your prayers. So wish fulfillment, whatever you've been really struggling with, whatever this answer is, it's coming through your dreams is what you need to be paying attention to. And I'm getting the sense of travel. So this could be astral traveling. So you might want to do, if you're in the practice or you're open to that, you might be called to do astral traveling, which is like a form of meditation. But this could just be like through the legitimate dreaming, nighttime astral traveling, and not like a waking astral travel. But it could also be like physically, you're going on a trip, you're going somewhere to recharge, or you're finding distance, or you're moving, and there's the end of some phase of your life, and that's what you're needing to grieve and find closure with. Let me get you some final guidance, pile number 3. What final guidance do you have for pile number 3? See, oh, the card that's on the ground says healing, true healing of the mind, body, and soul. Healing is coming to you. It is on its way. Let's see what else we've got here. You've got air, working with the element of air to cut through to the core of a situation and see the truth. Yes, there might have been a lot of confusion. There might have been a lot of different thoughts going through your mind. It might have been very, confused by the opinions of others, but you're going to have clarity very soon. God is healing feminine energy. Yes, there are feminine ancestors around you. There is feminine spirit guides around you, watching out for you. And I mentioned this in one of the other piles, but I firmly believe that we are infinite beings. We live forever. We never die. We reincarnate lifetime upon lifetime. And in our current incarnation, we have loved ones that we've known in this life, and we have ancient ancestors that are related to us through our bloodline, that are connected to us, that are watching over us. But don't think for a second that the people that you were close to in your past lives stopped loving you or watching over you because you are in this current incarnation. You have hundreds of mothers, is what they want me to say. So if there is some connection back to a mom and there's been pain there, and you're trying to decide whether you should have closure and erect strong boundaries with that, you have hundreds of mothers, and they are with you and they are watching over you. The connection that you have with the people that are hurting you right now aren't the only people. They're not the only moms. They're not the only dads. They're not the only husbands or wives or or brothers or sisters or any of the roles that may be causing you pain right now. You have as many ancestors as there are stars in the sky. You got Tree of Life, true wisdom and making good life choices. Yes. And this tree on this card, it's an image of the Tree of Life, Yggdrasil, an ash tree, and there is the Star of David in the branches, talking about balancing out the divine feminine and the divine masculine, feeling completely grounded in who you are. You're going to plant roots. Something is going to grow. And they're making me think of like how much life can come from one tree. If you think about all of the seed pods or all of the nuts, the acorns, whatever it is that comes from one particular tree that can contribute to creating an entirely different forest. You can do that in your own life. The people that you know in this life that might be hurting you may also be newer connections to your soul, right? We all reincarnate in different roles. So your chosen family is just as important as anyone you were born to. You know, they're possibly even more important. You got insight opens the third eye to strengthen intuition. Yes, start meditating. Start focusing on that third eye. If you can get Reiki, get some Reiki done. It will really help. But you can also just sit in meditation and focus on your third eye opening. You know, and you can visualize the clutter and you can visualize it looking any way you want. You can imagine that there's cobwebs and you're clearing out the cobwebs. All of that will help to open up your third eye. You can work with crystals. Philosopher's Stone, powerful manifestation of wishes and goals by harnessing universal energy. Yes. So you have to believe that what you want can be yours and you really start focusing on it. You know, open up your third eye, start dreaming, right? Dreams. Start dreaming about everything that you want your life to have. And it can be like fantasizing about it. But that is what manifestation is. We dream and we craft and we plan and we script what we want our life to be, and then our guides come through to us and they give us some intuitive insight. They give us 2-3 steps forward. They limit it to 2 or 3 steps because they need you to walk a particular path. You've crafted a life plan for yourself that's influencing other people. If you deviate from that plan, it messes other things up in the timeline. So you have to walk a particular path. That's why they'll only show you 2 or 3 steps, but they tell you what the end goal is going to be. That's why you have 2 of these star cards. There's something you know in your heart would make you happy. So start dreaming about it. Start dreaming about it. And then when those ideas come through to you, take action. Safe and happy travel, protection from harm when journeying. And I was talking about going into meditation, and I was talking about astral traveling. It could be a spiritual journey, like a shamanic journey, which is another form of astral traveling, connecting with your guides, meditation. That is wild. You are highly gifted, highly spiritual people, but I think that you are grossly underestimating how skilled you are. This is like pretty intense spiritual energy that's coming through. Have faith. Lean into it because the answers are on the way. The answers are on the way. So I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. This was such a pleasure. I would love to know what you thought of the reading, so you can fill me in on the comments. If you don't feel like commenting, that is okay. If you could like the reading, that would be great, or maybe you could share it. That would help a lot as well. And if any of you are interested in working with me, I would love to work with you. You can go to my website, odessamal.com. All of my services and booking information are available there. I do tarot card readings, spiritual coaching. I do channeled guidance from your spirit guides. That's under my mediumship tab. I only connect with spirit guides at this particular point in time. And I also do Reiki. So you can look at all of my services there. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. There is a contact form on my website. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next reading. Take care.